and I guess I will hand over to Nasrin. So she will give us an introduction to R Ladies Urmia as the first chapter in the country. Yeah, thank you, Nasrin.
Thank you so much. Okay, hello, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining. Really excited to be doing this presentation. First of all, I really appreciate our Ladies Brisbane for organizing this event. It's my honor to speak in this co-event. This is proudly our first official English event, so let's get started. First of all, I want to introduce you our logo. As you know, R Ladies is an organization that promotes gender diversity in the community of our users. So we want to start our chapter, Urmia Ladies. This is the first R Ladies chapter in Iran. This is proudly the first R Ladies chapter in Iran. And we have very special thanks for Urmia Oct for designing our nice and beautiful logo. It has two important symbols of Urmia Lake and flamingo. And the founders, me and Maryam, are the Urmia Ladies founders. Very happy. Okay, first of all, I want to show you where is Iran and where is Urmia and why we consider Urmia Lake and in our logo. Here you can see a beautiful map of Iran, which I drew it on our software. As you can see, Urmia is in the northwestern of Iran. It's not capital, but it's one of the cities. Let me show you the on the planet Earth. If you look at here, we go on Iran, and in the northwestern of Iran, you can see Urmia and one beautiful lake here. It's the world's second largest saline lake. Urmia is the city which I was born, I grew up, and now I'm currently living in Urmia. We have a Urmia lake here, as you can see, and because it's threatened now by dryness, it's very important to all of us, all the people here, living here. And you can see beautiful pictures of Urmia Lake. We have had lots of tourists here, actually before COVID, but it has 102 islands and national parks. Urmia Lake is an important brine shrimp Artemia habitat, and also Urmia Lake is the home of migratory birds like flamingos, pelicans, ducks. You can see beautiful flamingos here. But as a recent drought caused significantly decreased the amount of water and also increased the salinity of water. And this is caused that some of our migratory birds like flamingos population are decreased. Let me show you a beautiful view of Urmia Lake in the video, and I hope you can enjoy the video and also enjoy the music of it. Okay, I'm going to play.
We can't hear the music. The sound.
Okay, and you can see also a very spectacular view of Urmia city with high mountains, beautiful and fresh air here, and also famous Shaharchai Dam, which is very wonderful view and pure oxygen here. Beautiful mountains and parachuting. Okay, a little about us, Urmia Ladies founders, a little about me. I'm not doing my postdoc in civil engineering at the University of Tabriz. I use R for all my projects. I have a Ph.D. in water resources engineering, but very interested is stochastic and time series models, numerical modeling, hydroinformatics, data-driven techniques. These are my contact details. You can always welcome to DM me. And let's listen about my story and how I ended up loving R. In 2018, I went to Australia, Adelaide University, very beautiful city, as a sabbatical leave. And there I participated in some workshops such as RLadies events there. And from that time, I started loving R. And from that time, I start learning R and also teaching. So both in person, you can see I'm teaching at the university with lots of students before COVID, and after COVID, during COVID time, I try to teach online for many students and hopefully from around the world, like Persian persons around the world. And then another event that me and Maryam have also participated at Use R conference, which held on July 2021. We were the member of the online session Zoom host team, and it was very good experience for us, for both of us. Another very important achievement for me and Maryam with two other group members, that we gained an innovation award in creating a drought forecasting platform in the Global Eye Innovation Challenge in this October, like 2021, October. And also we have held our first public meeting on June in Persian language to find talented women. And good news is from then till now, we have very strong and talented ladies in our group. You can see our girls here. And we attempt to promote gender diversity in our community by encouraging and empowering people of all genders currently underrepresented in our community. If you are women, gender minority, and interested in coding with R, we are very happy. Please join us, our team, and you are all welcome. And last but not least, I'm going to finish my slides by introducing our speakers. The first speaker, Maryam, she wants to talk about cluster analysis in R lessons that she learned from a real-life program. And the second speaker, Laya, she wants to talk about preparation of monthly rainfall maps based on interpolation techniques using location-based and hybrid approaches. Also, a little introducing Maryam. Maryam has a master's degree on IT, and she currently works as a freelancer data analyst. She's very good. She's doing very good job especially in statistical analysis with R. I got to know Maryam from RLadies. She's extremely talented person, a light, full of energy, and she's very hard-working person. You can find her with her contact details. And also Laya, she's very high energy girl. She's Ph.D. candidate of forest ecology at Tarbiat Modares University, Tehran. You know, Tehran is our capital and is very important city. And also the universities are all very high ranked universities. And she is interested in climate change issues. She has cooperation in lots of environmental projects. You can email, Twitter her, and on LinkedIn. And you can keep updates by following us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Meetup page. You can also follow co-organizers, like me and Maryam. We have all the materials we use on GitHub site as well. Okay, and we will come back with lots of good news. Stay tuned. And I'm going to finish. I'm going to bye-bye. And Maryam, stage is yours. You can continue, please. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Nasrin, for your compliment.
No worries.
Okay, thank you. Oh, let me start now. Do you have my screen? Okay. First of all, hi everyone. Happy to be here today in this co-event with Ladies Brisbane. I want to welcome all of you, especially Iranian Ladies joining us for the first time. And thank you, Nasrin, for your great introduction of Iran, Ladies Urmia, and so on. Today in my presentation, I'm going to talk about the clustering project and lessons I learned from it. My mentor, Stuart, and I did this project for a loan company, which is the clients of Stuart's company, Yomp. I think, yeah, Stuart is here joining us from Adelaide. I want to say hello to him and a special thanks to him because of mentoring me and supporting me during last year. First, I want to talk a little bit about this mentorship program I had with Stuart. I applied to his mentorship program 2021 last December. I really admit that this program was a game changer in my journey in data field. At first, it was a group mentorship. Then step by step, I'm doing some analysis tasks. I moved to one-on-one mentorship with him. A mentorship in data science has some valuable benefits, like collaborating, solving problems. You know, oftentimes working with a real-world problem or a capstone project seems difficult for a learner. With the help of a mentor on specific problems, they will know whether the problem arises due to incorrect data processing or because of using the wrong tools. This will help the mentees bridge the gap between the techniques and real-world projects. Also, the mentor will help by providing feedback, making goals, and making progress. Coming to the last point, access a broader network. Mentor can provide the connection to the valuable network of people in their community. When I said Stuart, we started the first chapter of Our Ladies in our country. He was so supportive and introduced me to Rita from Our Ladies Brisbane to have this co-event together. Knowing all this, Nasrin and I also planned to have some mentorship programs in Our Ladies Urmia. We'll announce it in the future. So what we did in Yomp was a clustering analysis project for the Great Lender Company. Actually, due to data privacy reasons, we use Great Lender name as an alias. Great Lender is a loan company that helps women workers. We've applied clustering analysis to the borrower's data. Work was conducted to find the best combination of characteristics and the optimal number of clusters. We deal with a set of customers characterized by their demographic information and financial situation. This data is provided for development of a machine learning technique, a credit risk model. We use this clustering as a starting point for the credit risk model. Means after clustering customers, we are able to evaluate how credit scoring model works on different clusters of customers. Clustering algorithms, as I think most of you know about it, are a form of unsupervised learning algorithm. With unsupervised learning, an algorithm is subjected to unknown data for which no previously defined category or labels exist. The machine learning system must teach itself to classify the data, processing the unlabeled data to learn from its inherent structure. I read in a blog post of Explorium that says, in some cases, like our case, clustering might serve as a starting point rather than an end-to-end solution, shedding light on important features in a data set that can be elucidated with deeper and richer analysis. Much like with other data science models, you will get most of clustering when you deploy it not as a standalone, but as part of a broader data discovery strategy. This data set is provided by a Great Lender and includes some features of demographic information like women's age, marital status, their work experience, and some features for financial situation like their salary, whether they have side incomes or not, whether they get help from family or not, the reason of applying for a loan, and also some details about their workplace and their employers. This information formed our data set that has more than 20 features of mixed data types, some categorical, numeric, and some are flags and logical. If you want to visually more investigate your data set, pair plots are useful. As most of you may be used before, pair plots are a useful way of displaying the pairwise relations between variables in a data set. But when the variables aren't all numeric, the default display is unsatisfactory. Instead, you can use ggalley, if I'm saying its name correct, a package which is an extension to ggplot2. Here is the R code calling this library and using ggpairs function for some of our selected variables. This is the resulting plot. Categorical and numeric data types are visualized. Here we see, for example, in this feature, one value is dominant in about 90% of instances. Or here are salary and experience density plots, correlation between salary and experience, and so on. Before applying any clustering method, we look at our features that we want to remove. Here are some tips for feature selection from an article. Categorical variables with too many levels are removed. Variables with too many levels are those with more levels than 30% of the number of the instances. That pulls down the performance level of the model. To avoid redundant levels in a categorical variable, we can simply combine the different levels using business logic. For example, here it makes sense about customers' reason for applying for a loan that has too many reasons. We grouped reasons using business knowledge. We set a flag whether the reason is for a business or not. Next step, variables with more than 90% null are removed immediately. Variables that have only one possible or 90% dominant values are removed also. Variables with such levels fail to make a positive impact on model performance due to very low variation. Like here in our data set, like nationality of customers and employers that we remove. And last one, variables that are not user specific. If they don't describe the behavior of a user, then we cannot use them to distinguish users with. So here we remove all features of employers detail. So far, we have some variables removed and some transformed by converting categorical data to logical. But there are some situations that you may want to convert your numeric or continuous data to categorical. For example, it's quite often to convert the age to age groups. Let's see how we did it. Transforming numeric variables, whether it's continuous or discrete, to categorical variable by creating beans is a very common task in data processing. We can define specific beans easily like this, but another way is to define you can define specific beans, but another way is define each beans based on quantize. For example, four beans of an equal number of observations, 25% each, or like we did 3 beans using 25 and 75 percent quantize. Here, first 25% is young customers under 35 years old, 50% for middle age between 35 and 45, and last 25% is customers more than 45 years old. Here we see the R code. We can easily do that using cut and quantile functions. We did the same for customer experience feature. You see a histogram of experience feature and the density plot. Here, in the same way, we convert it to 3 beans. The ranges of each being calculated using quantiles gives us 3 levels of experience. That is first quantile, no experience, 2 to 3 years. Second one, 4 to 11 years, and last one, more than 12 years of experience for our third bin. Finally, we have 8 features of categorical type, and we move to the next step. A key step in developing clustering, deploying clustering, is deciding which algorithm to use. As a junior in data field, I started applying different clustering methods to all the data. For example, one of the most common clustering methods is k-means, which is just applicable to numeric data. I applied k-means using just for numeric variables of data set, but results were not satisfactory. Then applied hierarchical clustering using just our categorical features, and again, no satisfactory results. I did this trial and error many times using different subsets of features. And finally, we decided to use a hierarchical clustering. And we have 8 features of categorical type. Okay. For categorical data, or generally for mixed data types, we use hierarchical agglomerative clustering. When your data is categorical or mixed data type, the issue is how to compute data distances, similarity or dissimilarity. Daisy function from cluster package will did this for us, computes all the pairwise dissimilarities or distances between observation in the data set. When our variables are of mixed types, metric Goover is set for this function. So a generalization of Goover's formula is used. Goover, this metric calculates the distance between categorical or mixed data types. Also, as unsupervised learning techniques generally require that the data be appropriately scaled, Goover is a scaling algorithm too, which brings all variables to a 0-1 range. The distance between xi and xj values on categorical variable k is 0 when their value is equal, and otherwise it's 1. This way we will have a distance matrix that is the input parameter for H-class function. Let's see how hierarchical clustering works then. Hierarchical algorithm is initialized by creating a separate cluster for each data point. So m clusters total. When we find the closest pair according to our distance matrix and merge them, the closest pair, giving us a new cluster shown in red. And now we need to compute all the cluster pairs distances again, the distances from each cluster to the new red cluster. This process is visualized as a data structure called a dendrogram, connecting 2 red points to the line whose height indicates their dissimilarity. Next iteration, we find the next closest pair, merge them, and recompute distances from all the clusters to this new one. We'll draw these points over in the dendrogram and merge them. Since this pair was more distant than the first pair, their merge height will be higher. Finding the next closest pair of clusters might be that it involves one of our previously merged groups. In that case, we again connect 2 clusters, forming a larger cluster and join them in the dendrogram with a height that indicates their computed dissimilarity. Each merge reduces the total number of clusters by 1. Eventually, we have only a few clusters. We can stop when we reach the desired number of clusters and use the resulting partitioning, purple, blue, and red. We continue merging, so 3 clusters become 2. We join them here in dendrogram until finally, after n-1 steps, all the data must belong to the same single cluster. Moreover, our dendrogram here illustrates the trace of this merging procedure, showing when they were merged together in the order of increasing cluster distance. We can choose clusters subject to some threshold on their similarity. In other words, we stop merging once the clusters are more dissimilar than some threshold. So this condition corresponds to a cut across the dendrogram at some height, which then tells us how many clusters there are. Here we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 clusters. This procedure is implemented in R by hclust function. Okay, here is the R code for our clustering process. After data wrangling and data transformation, we select 8 features. We selected 8 features. Then using daisy function and Goover method, we are able to calculate distance matrix for our categorical data type. Then hclust clusters the data based on distance matrix and builds dendrogram. And we see here we would better cut 3 by 5 clusters. We do this using cut3 function. Now our customers are grouped into 5 clusters, and we've added cluster numbers to data as a new column. We come to this step, analyzing clusters results. We have a hybrid approach to this step. Rather than just use the clusters as it is, we're going to make it more descriptive to a non-technical audience, the stakeholders, by applying a tree model to our new data set and treat it as a classification problem. Cluster numbers are our labels here, and we're going to model it by a tree structure. Tree-based models, we can create a classification tree using function C3 from party package. Party package is a laboratory for recursive partitioning, provides non-parametric regression trees for nominal, ordinal, numeric, and multivariate responses. Tree growth is based on statistical stopping rules, so pruning should not be required. We constructed a decision tree for customers that are labeled by their cluster number now. We see a conditional inference tree with 6 terminal nodes here. At the highest level, data is divided into 2 categories according to customer's age. Following the left branch, the next division is made according to their breadwinner flag. So a customer classified in the terminal node, node number 4, you see, has age under 35, who is not a breadwinner. I like this part, this part that we're going to name each cluster, each group of customers based on their characteristics. So we named clusters in this node, in node number 4, independent use, because they are young and not a breadwinner for their family. The same way, we named all the other terminal nodes, Young Angels for young customers who are breadwinners, Business Eagle for middle-aged customers whose reason for loan is their business, and so on. Using this hybrid methods of hierarchical clustering and decision tree in classification, our 5 clusters in the first place are regrouped into 6 new clusters that we name. Coming to the last part, these visualizations show our clusters by size. We see, active married and business eagles are the majority of our customers. Also, I find these box plots along with the violin plots so informative. They show age and experience full distribution for each cluster. Here the difference between experienced matures and young angels is obvious. Also, we see more characteristics of clusters here. For example, as you see, a higher percentage of active mothers have security for sure, while young angels don't. And most of the business eagles and experienced matures are breadwinners. We named active married, so because most of them are married and have side income. Dependent elders named so because nearly all of them get help from their family. These visualized characteristics are well described and so informative to our clients. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening. I would be happy to connect you. Here is the addresses of my contact in Twitter, LinkedIn, and I would love to connect to you. And you also follow me on Medium. Any questions?
I have a question, and it's more for maybe like conversation's sake than anything else. I thought that was a beautiful presentation. I think you did a really good job of laying out the basics of it, but then bringing in some details and nuance. I thought you did a really awesome job at that.
Thank you.
But my thing is, it's like, is there any questions that you ask yourself before you think that you should apply a clustering technique, or what sort of, I guess, tests are you going through whether or not that this is the appropriate way to answer a complex problem, or to at least get some initial insights? You said this is kind of like a preview, and then you kind of dig deeper based on what you find.
Yes, actually, I consulted it with Stuart, deciding on which features to use, which one remove and set aside. And for example, as I said in tips, feature selection is so important, and you should really look into it and investigate it. There are some at first I said some tips to which features is not good for our clustering methods, and another one is you can test by PCA and CDA. These are the statistical methods that you can apply it on your data set and see that which feature is so descriptive, distinguish the clusters. It so has variations in your data. And using this, and by consulting especially with the stakeholder, as you see, we could have used I don't know their customer's reason that they apply for a loan, all of the reasons, but we decided to just consider which one of the customers wants a loan for their business, and that really helped. And like this, and other details about, I don't know, employer and the work situation, like because they don't describe the class, the user, we didn't consider them. But there are some, I said, statistical methods like PCA shows you which variable is variation in the values of data for customers. I don't know if I answered your question.
Well, no, I think I think that like you explored how your thought process worked, which is what I was getting at. So thank you very much. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maryam, we have a question from Sayani. So she's asking, thank you for your presentation. So how do you treat outliers before the classification stage? I think that was an interesting question. I was asking the same question.
Sorry, I didn't get, please repeat.
So how did you treat outliers before the classification stage?
Yeah. For us layers, as I said in one of first, pair plots, visualization, investigate visually your data set. This is a way you can see outliers, any outliers in data. I said plots, pair plots, and if your data set is mixed type, you can use GG pairs from GG Ali package. This will I showed just one of some of my features. I think 4 of them. You can apply it for all your data visually. Visually, you can see the outliers. Pairs plot, GG pairs function, or pairs function. Any other questions? Happy to answer.
It looks like that's all for now. Why don't we try and do the next presentation? Does that sound good? I guess if anyone has more questions for Maryam, you can put them in the chat and maybe she can type any people think of anything else. Thank you so much for that presentation. I guess if
thank you for your listening.
I guess if Laya, you're up next. Did both speakers got introduced already? Is that correct? I can't even remember.
Yes, Laya, can you share your slides?
Yeah, take it away whenever you're ready.
It's okay.
Yes.
Share my screen. Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. The title of the presentation is a preparation of monthly rainfall maps based on interpolation techniques using location-based and hybrid approach. My name is Laya, Ph.D. candidate of forest ecology at Tarbiat Modares University, Tehran, Iran. Tarbiat Modares University is accept the students, postgraduate students, just in master and PhD and postdoc. This picture is a natural resources faculty of our university. Hyrcanian forest, the Caspian Hyrcanian mixed forest ecoregion is in the world temperate. Broadleaf and mixed forest biome are a zone of lowland to the mountain forest. In 2019, registering World Heritage Site UNESCO belong to the tertiary period with amazing nature and rich biodiversity. We prepare monthly rainfall maps based on interpolation techniques IDW using location-based and hybrid approach in the 3 northern provinces of Iran, Gilan, Mazandaran, and Golestan, month August and February. As check the normality of data, we draw the plot of the maps. Using package R commanders, Octomap, SP, GStat, and raster. R Commander is a platform independent basic statistics for R. We use R Commander package for input data. As run this commands library, R Commanders open these windows. And input data and set information of data, name data, NA is a missing value, and so on, and okay. Other package, Automap, automatically interpolation package. The package perform an automatic interpolation bars by automatically estimating the variogram and then calling GStat. It's depend on the SP package. SP package classes and method for spatial data, classes and method. The classes documents for the spatial location information, sites for 2D to 3D data. GStat, spatial and spatio-temporal geostatistical modeling, prediction and simulation. Variogram modeling, simple, ordinary, and universal point or block co-kriging, spatio-temporal kriging, sequential Gaussian, and so on. Raster, geographic data analysis and modeling, reading, writing, manipulating, analysis, and modeling of spatial data. The package implements basic and high-level function for raster data and for vector data that depends on the SP package. We use all commands from our editor with run line or selection and executed our commands. Data control with this command used to manage our workspace, structure data, names data, head, tail, dim, summary. For example, structure data define about structures, that how many we have variable or data frame, names of data, names of the variables, and so on. These reports develop these commands. Therefore, input data and loading package, we start statistical analysis. Then we want IDW output. Primarily check data normal list with these codes: HIST, box plot, and Shapiro test. We used in this data use the Shapiro test. Our p-value is 0.01. The null hypothesis in this section, assumption hypothesis, the data distribution follows the normal distribution. If the p-value is less than 0.05, it means that your hypothesis is rejected. If it's rejected, it's indicated that the data distribution does not follow the normal distribution. If the p-value is greater than 0.05, then the data distribution follows the normal distribution. Then we must normal our data. Conversion to normalized data, we examine three methods converting data: log, log10, and squarty. Log in the mathematics same as ln, log10 and logarithm based on the 10, and squarty is squared root. The squarty is the best method for this normalized. After I normalize, we use Shapiro test command to control again that p-value is 0.9 is greater than the 0.05, and our data is normalized. Now run the following commands. From these commands, data February trans and squared. Convert then data to the spatial data. For we draw a coordinate over this, and here x is a ln and y is a lat. It according to the input data. Spatial point data frame. After converting, we plot these information. Plot from these commands. PCH is the shape of these points. Color is the color of these points, and CX the size of these points. And we change these numbers and draw again. Draw the same plot above by changing the command again. Now we define the coordinate system for our data. The coordinate system is determined using CRS because the coordinate system is latitude and longitude. The following two codes can be used. Now we load the provinces. The system package itself calls the data. If we don't know the file path, run it with the choose file command and select our file from the open windows I use the shapefile in this exercise, and the following commands are different for each system. These commands and to draw the province on the maps, and this result on the console of the R. Execute plus province map of province is plotted. 3 provinces in the northern of the Iran: Gilan, Mazandaran, and Golestan. Using the point command, and again the point of the stations in their area, we also bring the point. The important point here is that if we run the point first, it gives an error. We must first plot and then run point. It is as shown below. And for the IDW is a non-logistical interpolation technique that works based on distance, giving more weight to nearby points, to more distance points, and a power to invert the weight distance. The power is very important. What we can choose execute in order using the following commands. And the power result from this command is the 1.5 cases the lowest error rate. Now we need to design a network using the following commands. Draw a grid. Executing the class grid, heat grid, and dim grid. Commands executed the type here, data frame, and the heat and dim commands described above respectively, as shown below. We have 3 columns: X, Y, elevation, based on our data. And in the image above, we see that the data is a data frame. So we convert it to spatial data again. With this command, we define a coordinate grid and the coordinate system. Then by executing the plot commands, province add true, we bring the master's maps on the networks in these pictures. The grids are very, very close each other. So we have to reduce the size from 0.08. It's a very tiny grids in these maps. And its command is here. And set our points that it's stations in the maps. Then we run the IDW code. With the IDP, the power of CAD 1.5. In the IDP sections, we place the optimal power. After these levels, we run these commands to control our data: name, summary, height, class, graded, and these results. We draw grid again. From these commands, graded, IDW February perceptions square, true. And execute the following commands in order. From these commands, we draw these maps. In the dark colors is the rainfall is high, and the other sections is the rainfall is low. Some section we don't have any idea. This is the NA or missing data. According to the picture above, the amount of the rainfall is more in the west of Hyrcanus, are gradually decreases to the east. The green parts have maximum precipitations. There is a minimal rainfall in Golestan province, except for the small spots shown in the picture. We need to convert this converted data back to the original data, return data to power 2. These commands and these results. For transform data, that these numbers change, and this section the rainfall is a high, and this section the rainfall is a low. For February month, we will mask the maps on the province with run these commands. These points, the stations of weather stations. Now with the following commands, we get a summary of the amount of rainfall with these commands and these results. Executing the following commands with the getWD commands, we got the file path where it was saved. The final analysis plan in a QGIS software for February is as follows. Mask our results on the Iran countries. It's the Iran countries, is the 3 provinces, northern and Hyrkanian forest and Caspian Sea. These areas is the rainfall is high, and this area rainfall is low. These darkest points, I have a missing value. And all of the above steps, again, we run about August month. According to the result of for August, the amount of rainfall is higher in the western region. Darker color indicate more rainfall. This point is the rainfall high, and this point is the rainfall low. This white point is the missing value. And again, with the transform data and the station point of the weather stations. Mask our maps on the QGIS and show again this rainfall is high, and rainfall is a dark. This black point is a missing value. Data from a meteorological station. Information is from the weather stations. Our result analysis of 2 maps, February and August, showed that the amount of the rainfall in February is higher due to the rainy season and the constant temperature and angle of the sun, resulting in less evaporative precipitations. But in August, the temperature is higher and evaporation is higher, and the amount of precipitations is less. According to the obtained amount, precipitations in February is less than from August. Also, according to the maps, you can see the differences between these 2 months. In general, there is more rainfall in the west of Hyrkanos than in the east. In some places, due to the lack of meteorological stations, accurate information about those places is not available, and it's usually associated with errors in this place. With kind regards, I am ready to answer your questions.
Does anyone have any question for Laya? Thank you, Laya, for your presentation. It was very interesting. You can also put in the chat, or you can unmute yourself if you would like. No? I was wondering, maybe Laya, if you were having other data that are not the rainfall, but maybe the temperature or something else, how easy will it be to, I guess, convert your code to get similar plots? I guess it would be okay, or do you see anything that could be a problem for that kind of conversion of your code to other data type that would be kind of similar but a bit different?
I catch my information from the weather stations, and about just about the rainfall and not temperature, and that is temperature in the month is the increase the evaporations, but just study about the rainfall in the three provinces.
Yeah. I guess I was just wondering about the R code. Maybe you have, I guess it probably would be okay to just translate that with other data, right? Because it's kind of plotting data on the map, and then somehow the code could be reused, right?
Which code?
All the code you're showing for, yeah. Maybe it's a bit, my question is a bit weird. Yeah, because the code that you're using, it's, yeah, I guess you could just reuse for
code for these commands.
Yeah, when you're plotting and all the things you're processing data.
Yeah, these codes we use for plot our data for February and August, IDW, precipitations.
Yeah.
And
someone in chat was asking more about the different interpolation methods.
So like, are you using something different based on the data that you have? So if you're using temperature data versus rainfall data versus something else, are you using a different method of interpolation, or what are you doing? Maybe maybe that's how I interpreted that question. I'm not sure if I'm wrong, but
yeah, kind of. Thank you, Rita. That's okay. We can maybe you can move to the other question. Are you here, Laya?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So someone was asking. I mean, Ali was asking. Could you please explain more about different interpolation methods? If you.
Interpolation method is a geostatistical method for draw the plots and maps on the Earth. For many levels for rainfall, temperature, climate change, and so on.
And I guess like a follow-up is if you had wanted to do a regional analysis of precipitation, but in non-stationary conditions, like I guess if you didn't have weather stations, it sounds like you had weather stations, so you have set points, but yeah, what would you think about doing interpolations for non-stationary, I guess, data collection methods? Any ideas?
maybe not.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Laya,
it's okay. It's okay.
You understand?
Like everyone works on like their data. Like you have your realm of expertise, and that's totally fine. Like I wouldn't know how to work on data that I'm not used to working on, so that's totally cool. And also, I've never worked on.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Yes, Laya, the question is about the non-stationary data. When we have non-stationary data, we have some some methods. For example, in my presentation, I try to use like some TAR models in R for dealing with the non-stationary data. And this is a family of TAR models, like setter models, or we try to model the white nose parts of the equation. So this is like this in the non-stationary data. We deal like something, another methods, like another packages for non-stationary.
The other the kriging and co-kriging about this IDW use about this RDW, and for the earth science, we use these informations, and I don't know that is other steps.
Any more question for Laya or for Maryam before? Well, thank you, Laya.
Thank you so much.
I have a more.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just put my camera on. I've just been getting dinner ready. The thing I just wanted to say about Maryam's presentation earlier is that it would have been very, very easy for her to put together if she could have just used the real data and the real clusters that she came up with and that we workshopped and got together. The fact that she hasn't been able to use that and has basically had to sort of recreate something that looks like what she did is a real challenge, and I guess that shows kind of the dedication to that presentation. And so I just kind of wanted to call that out, is that it was actually a lot more work for her, sort of dummying up the data to be able to show you what, you know, the spirit of what we did. And so yeah, just wanted to call that out.
Yeah, thank you. No worries.
Sorry, I feel that was my fault.
No worries. Because of the data privacy, we should have done some dummy work and for our original data and somehow visualize cluster again. No problem. And yeah, that was great.
It just adds more work, and so I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, Stuart. Really, because of this last year. Yeah, I hope for your next program, I'm sure more of Iranian girls are going to, our ladies are going to apply for your mentorship in the upcoming December. And yeah, I really recommend it. Getting a mentor, it's really game changer. You know, all techniques or other things we all know, but when it comes to real world projects, there are some challenges that need help. And someday I want to be a mentor too. Now I'm in a junior level. Someday, after some more experiences, years I got, I'm going to be a mentor too, because I really like this process, this program. Thank you.
Amazing. So you've done this mentoring from different country, right? Because Stuart was in Australia and you were in Iran, right? So
we had other mentees from Argentina, America, and South America. Yeah, we had a group of people. Then it was some steps, a group mentorship. We did some tasks, Stuart asked us, and then we move 4 people. We go to the one-on-one mentorship. And yeah, that's it. And I really suggest that all people are starting data science or learning R, absolutely get a mentor. That really helps.
Yeah, and I must say that, like, I did Stuart's mentorship program as well. I'm not sure if I told the R Ladies about it or what I can't remember what I said because it was a year ago or so, but yes, I did it. I think it is a great opportunity to learn, as all mentorship programs. I think, like, find as many mentors as you can and then stick with the ones that really gel with you.
I think other R Ladies, other chapters have mentorship programs too. Nasrin and I are going to really plan for it.
I'm not sure if they have it formalized, but like I would imagine there would be, because there would just be such a wonderful network of people that I would imagine there is. Like I don't think we have anything formalized in Brisbane per se, but I bet you there is.
Okay, hope so. We're going to have it for definitely.
Yes.
Working on it, really. We're working on it. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you,
Hello.
everyone.
Sorry,
Hello,
I'm just,
Fazil.
I just sorry for interrupting, and I just posted on the chat, and I'm not sure if you got the flyer. I've organized a series of statistical workshops, and just it's free for everyone, so you can easily sign up through Eventbrite.
Really, that's great.
Have you got it through the chat box? I'm not
Yes,
sure if you
yes.
got the
Yeah,
PDF file.
PDF file here is uploaded here. Flyer application,
Yep.
statistical. Thank you.
No worries.
Okay.
Does anyone else wanted to share something, or maybe the experience with clustering or interpolation or anything else? That's
Any question? Our ladies Urmia, I think most of our Iranian ladies joining, this is their first time. They can ask any question about Our Ladies Urmia and our how to join, how to help us.
Yes. Just a reminder, we have many great events. Yes, in the future.
We're going to have, yeah.
Yes, this is the start.
Are you planning to have any in-person or virtual events? Do you already?
Because here the COVID situation is not very stable. Like not all the people here, they don't vaccinated yet. But our first, we organize our first like virtual. After that, we try to have our events in person.
Yeah. Hope so.
Yes.
And here from Iran, any Our Ladies, you can join us. You can help us being an organizer, like this, helping and organizing online events or in-person events in the future. Or you can join as a speaker, any package, anything you know, you learned, you know in R, or any project you want to share us, anything you are master about, and either these ways you can help us, join us, and I think
we are ready for the collaboration, just like this, another co-event with other chapters. It's very great for us, very great experience. Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Thank you. This was our first time, and you really helped. Thank you.
It's great the time zone that we could make it happen. I guess there's some country maybe we couldn't do it. So it's good.
Yeah,
it's 4 hours and a half. Time difference.
You guys did a great job.
No, 7. 7 hours.
Yes, 7.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's already 7 p.m. here. Yeah, it's time for dinner.
And our lunchtime also. Also lunchtime.
One thing I'd encourage is that since COVID, I think it's become more socially acceptable to attend events that aren't in your town. So, you know, whether you're R Ladies in Iran or R Ladies in Brisbane, you can go to the Sydney event, you can go to the Melbourne event. Those events are all open to you. And we had a lady, it's kind of more on Power BI, but we had a lady from Adelaide who ended up speaking at the Austin, Texas Power BI user group. And so I went on that call to sort of hear from her, and ended up winning a year's package of this sort of training material on Power BI. So like, honestly, like, it doesn't matter as long as it's in a time zone that you are happy to be awake for. You know, Europe's a bit challenging for me certainly, but I'd encourage you to go if it's a subject matter you care about. Like if there's a R Ladies Vancouver, then nothing stops you from registering and attending. It's an online event, so yeah, that would be my recommendation. I've certainly been doing it, so yeah.
Yes, and another thing, we are in Urmia ladies are very we want if any volunteer works like in the conferences or like this, we are ready to do volunteer works. If there is any, please let us know, and we will be very happy.
I guess, like, I don't know if you need presenters or anything like that, but if you need people to share ideas and things, like, obviously I unfortunately only speak French or English, but like, happy to help in any way, because I think, like, it's really important, the work that you guys are doing, or you girls are doing, in terms of setting this up. Like, to me, this is just so important, and I love what you're doing, and I love how you're pioneering in the space. So happy to help in any way. If you're
thank you.
Sharing ideas, if you need people, like, not that I'm the most interesting, but I can find other people that are more interesting than me, but, like, unfortunately it is English at the moment.
No problem.
So yeah, but yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, admitting something that Stuart said about online events. Yet, my first RLadies experience was with RLadies Sydney. I joined their online events, and it was so great. I found the environment so friendly, and I really loved it. And I didn't even think that I can do the same in my country. And when I saw Nasrin's post on Instagram that I've started RLadies Urmia first chapter in Iran, I said, wow, that's a great thing. Why don't I think of that before? And I messaged her and helped her as a co-founder. So far, we had a lot. And these COVID, unfortunately, whatever disaster is, the online events, I joined a lot of online R events, data science events, women in data science, I don't know, many other online events. Was a great opportunity for me to connecting, networking. So far I have lots of friends and networking and be friends in connecting to on LinkedIn and so on. And this was a great event. Thank you all of you, and getting to know you, and you helped us for our first event as this co-event. Hope to continue to be continued, as yes, we will have English, both English and Persian events, both of them, or all Iranian RLadies all over the world. And we will ask them to come and speak and join us. Thank you. Thank you.